The first international movement against fascism, the resistance, started here, started in Madrid, started in Spain. It's World War II.
The role of the Chinese volunteers in the Spanish Civil War is not well known.
When we first learned about those 24 Chinese officers, it was a bit of a mind-blowing moment.
Chinese has a long tradition of this international solidarity, but may not be widely announced.
The highest part of the village was bombed, and by the Nazis, and by the fascists, and by the Francoists, a disaster, absolute disaster.
So this is a photograph that shows a crater left by a bomb. What in here? The whole building, it's gone.
Franco forces turned Spain into a testing ground for fascists to test new weapons and tactics, including the first carpet bombing in human history, resulting at least 500,000 deaths.
All these people to come from as far away as China or New Zealand to come to help what they perceive as the just cause and the sacrifices they made.
Al parecer, la mayoría de los brigadistas chinos eran trabajadores o profesionales residentes en Europa, en Francia sobre todo, y en Estados Unidos, o procedentes de colonias chinas en la Indonesia holandesa, por ejemplo, que sintieron espontáneamente la llamada de venir aquí a luchar en contra del fascismo, porque pensaban que el fascismo era una amenaza mundial.
In 1986, we found there was a brochure and they showed there, published by the American volunteer. And we looked over, we found out there were two Chinese-like names. One is Qijian, which is very, very close. But the other one is Dan Hong Ik. So we are very curious about that. And at that time, Japanese invaded China in 1931. So it's really in a big crisis. And why there were Chinese went to Spain to fight another war.
And they understood that, if Hitler, Mussolini, and Franco were to really win, maybe they perceived that China was going to end as well, really invaded by Japan and Nazi Germany. So I think they understood the threat.
¿Cómo se demostró? Porque la guerra comenzó siendo una guerra europea, pero acabó siendo una guerra mundial.
Soldiers, total 12 that we identify with biography, with photos, positively identification. Most of them are workers. For instance, Zhang Ruisu, Liu Jingtian, and Yang Chunrong. They are auto workers from remote auto plant in Paris, like Li Fengling, electrician from Lyon. There are three intellectuals. One is Zhang Ji. He's an engineer from the United States. The other one is Xie Weijing. He studied in Germany. The third one is the Chinese-Indonesian doctor. Their age is around 30, most of them 40. The Zhang Ruisu, Liu Jingtian, they were able to travel from France with train to go to Albacete. At the end of the 1936, French government closed the border with the Spain. So whoever want to go to Spain, they have to go through, climb the Pyrenees mountain in the dark at night. Because they have to use a rope because they have to climb on the cliff. If they slip a little bit, they can hear the stone just fall deep into the canyon. So it's very difficult. It's not like you can just walk in and go through Spain.
The Battle of Madrid, when it starts, is November 36. So it would have been very similar weather to this. Foggy. The fascists are coming from Toledo. They're coming towards Madrid from the south. Madrid is the first city in Europe to be bombed. This is before Guernica. Guernica is April. This is January. Madrid will be the tomb of fascism, right? So this banner was just between these windows.
They actually fought every single battle, all of them. Because almost every single Chinese volunteers got wounded. Zhang Ruisu, Liu Jingtian, they each one had been wounded 3 times. His adopted daughter said that he has a big scar in his back of the shrapnel wound.
They were considered as operative forces. It means that we were prepared not only to defend, not only to resist, to defend positions, but to launch offensives.
The Spanish Republic cannot get any weapons, so they are very short of ammunition and equipment. So there's no comparison with the modern weapons of Hitler and Mussolini. Yet, when Franco first started the revolt, he believes that within 1 week he would take over the complete country, right? And after 1 week, he knew that it's impossible. That's why he immediately asked the Hitler and Mussolini. Still, how long the Spanish Civil War had been fought? Almost 3 years. Zhang Ruisu and Liu Jingtian, their unit, in the 14th Brigade, they published official magazines. They wrote many articles about them. The battles was set in Segovia, which was fought in June 1937. Zhang Ruisu, Liu Jingtian fought the same war. And when both of them went up to the mountain, in Segovia, initially it was a forest, but the enemy just chopped it completely, exposed their medical tent. When the first bomb fell, a lot of people, a lot of helpers, just left. They remained. They were stretcher bearers carrying the wounded. And when the second bomb fell, Zhang Ruisu got wounded. And they asked him to escape. He refused. And when the third bomb fell in the same tent, he couldn't do anything because he was so wounded, and he was evacuated and taken to the hospital.
The picture that Liu Jingtian carried the wounded, someone identified that picture, was taken in the Battle of Segovia.
So they wrote it saying that they are legendary soldiers in the medic. They said that many of the soldiers may not know their names, but they all call them Chinese comrades. Because Zhang Ruisu, Liu Jingtian never wanted to go to sightseeing after they retreat from the war. So one day his captain ordered him to go to Madrid. And he was very upset because he said there are a lot of work he wanted to do, but he has to obey the order. So he went to Madrid, and then he saw on the newsstand the huge cover pictures. And when he walked closer, he found that was he. He's a picture prominent on the cover page. And inside has 2 pages of him and Liu, their stories and pictures, etc., and call them that they are the bravest of all. So that was how important that they were being seen by the Spanish authority and Spanish people and the Spanish media.
People that come so far away from a completely different culture, from a completely different landscape and different traditions, that they cared. They were willing to die for a Spanish child. It was really quite something. It was important. It strengthened the spirit of solidarity across the international brigades and across the Spanish civilians trapped in this nightmare.
In September 1938, Spain withdrew all volunteer soldiers of the international brigades to seek Western pressure on Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy to lift the arms embargo. Franco then won and established his dictatorship by April 1939. 5 months later, Germany invaded Poland, starting World War II.
Importante, aunque finalmente no sirvió para ganar la guerra, ¿no? A pesar de ello, cuando acabó la guerra española, muchos brigadistas continuaron luchando en Francia, en otros países contra los alemanes, y muchos, una parte de ellos también fueron a China, como los médicos, los doctores que fueron a China, a seguir ayudando a la población, ¿no?
For most of the survivors of the international brigades, Spain was not the end, it was the beginning. Immobilization methods near the front lines that saved many lives, new transfusion methods, and mobile operating rooms that were used in China as well. So from the experience and the common sense, they created a method that was later used in World War II, for example, by the medical services of the British Army, and also in China.
There's one Dr. Sean, he's a Hungarian doctor. Before he left the camp, the French camp, he gave a speech. He said, why I'm going to China to help the Chinese fight against the Japanese aggression. It's the same reason why I went and you went to Spain to help the fight against the fascism in the West. So it's the same thing. So he said, I promise you, I will use the same enthusiasm and devotion to work in China as well as when I was working in Spain.
It's like, okay, so, you know, we couldn't finish the job in Spain, but we're gonna do it in China.
Today, we can say that there have been located almost 1,000 mass graves and burial points in Catalonia from that period, by archaeological works in these mass graves, by anthropological analysis of the human remains that are exhumed, and by a genetics identification program. However, a very few relatives of international brigaders who went missing in Catalonia have requested the Catalan government to search for them. Probably because the identification tools of the Catalan government are not well known. For this reason, in 2022, the Catalan government added a specific program for the search of international brigaders in this work. The aim of this project, the WWII program, is to know who went missing in Catalonia, when and where.
We first have a tour in Spain along all the battlefield where the Chinese fought. We want to know what happened to Chen Wenrao, in what circumstances. His remains have not been found, and it was like in the graveyard. A lot of people dumped together and buried there.
Dong Hong Yik, he died on April 3, 1938, in the area of Gandesa, in the Ebro area. During the Republican retreat, it was some months before the Battle of the Ebro. Much more than 100 mass graves have been located in the area of the Ebro from both episodes. The exact place where Dong Hong Yik went missing, a mass grave in the area, according to historical information, could be related with that episode. And it is a place that it is possible that volunteers of the Lincoln Washington Battalion where he was fighting were buried there. It has not been opened, but it is documented.
We know that on this memorial there are more than 30 different nationalities commemorated. And this is where the 1,476 names of the men who were killed on D-Day itself are engraved. It gives you an understanding of how the battle unfolded, which tells you that the battle in the land was particularly fierce on those days. When we first learned about those 24 Chinese officers, it was a bit of a mind-blowing moment actually. The reason that we never knew about those 24 Chinese officers is because, luckily for them, they survived, which means that they're not engraved, their names aren't engraved here on the stones. I think it was in 1942 and 43. It took them about 3 months to travel from China via India, via Egypt, eventually arriving in Liverpool. And then from Liverpool they went down to Greenwich to train with the Royal Navy. It's something that we've been fascinated by and delighted to learn that not only were the Chinese involved in the war in Far East and the war against the Imperial Japanese forces, but that they were here in Europe also fighting the fascists.
Very grateful to know that to this day that the Spanish people still remember that the friendship and the devotion of foreign international brigadistas trying to help their country. That to this day, not only the fighter himself remember, but his sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters even wrote pictures to us about his grandpa shaking hands with Chen Agen, because we also being helped by other nationalities. You know, the volunteers also came to China to help us. So I think that human beings should be as a brother and sister, as they have already demonstrated with their life story. We need to be very mindful of that kind of nationalism, because international brigadistas showed us we need to go beyond that so that we will avoid the repeat of fascism.
It's the solidarity. Well, it's the International Brigade is the greatest expression of solidarity in history, I think. It provides us a lesson of what solidarity is or how solidarity works.
It speaks to that theme of solidarity and that need to find the commonalities between us, to find the things that we share and the things that make us, that bring us together rather than looking for the divisions.